I was like, and for the high performance motorsports program, I got a scholarship. I go, now I just have no interest in working on cars like I used to.
I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at now.
T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of In the Driver's Seat. We're here with Corey Renforth and special guest today. It is Nick Groves. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. Doing all right.
Well, I guess so. I mean, no race last night. So, Corey, how did you spend your time? Tell the world how Corey Renforth spends a weekend off.
I went down to Cambridge and spent the day with my fishing buddy / uncle from back in the day. Used to go to South Carolina, spend all the summers with him, and just fish every weekend. And that was living life, man. But I was going to move back down there, I guess, since I originated from there. But my mom put the kibosh on that. I was like, he was like, boy, you want to just move down here? We can take off every Monday from school. We can go fishing. I'm like, sold, dude. I mean, we used to spend a lot of time on the lake. But yeah, I run down there visiting since they moved up here.
So no racing yesterday. Did a little fishing. Does that give you a chance to kind of reset the battery, recharge the batteries, and reset the mechanism, so to speak?
I don't know. I probably need all the practice I can get. Maybe for somebody like Nick that's actually decent at this and good at it. Yeah, he might want to. He might be able to take a reset. But I should probably be in a go-kart track putting in laps, trying to get better.
Well, you brought us a special guest. It's Nick Groves. Would you do the intro for him? Why he's here and why it's so important to you?
Well, last year we had the banquet, the goods banquet. He was one of the 4 people I asked who I should have put a new body on the car. I got the same answer from all 4 people with Bob Bolano. And so then I was like, all right, now I need somebody that can put an engine in, because I've tried and I put an engine in, bought another engine, and I'm done with it because obviously I don't do something right. And luckily he said yes when I asked him, and then he drove our car while I was on vacation one night because he gave me a bum car. So then it put more work on his table for. So I mean, one day we're gonna have interaction where it doesn't make work for him or cost him something. I mean, I told him one day we'll just have a beer, and if he wanted to do it, he can fix it or nothing.
There you go.
Yeah, that works. But yeah, that's how we got together here.
All right, Nick. Obviously, racing in your blood. It's something that you're passionate about. Talk to us about what got you into it, the early beginnings.
I mean, previously family. I mean, my grandparents on my mom's side, they'd always take off, go to the races. They would go all over the place. I mean, in immediate family, there wasn't really any racing other than just kind of the love of the sport, watching NASCAR every Sunday. And then my senior year of high school, I helped a friend. He lived right down the street, hauled his car for him, helped him out at the racetrack. That kind of got me hooked. That fall, I ran an enduro race. That's what got me into it. Then the following year, I had just started college. Lo and behold, I used a scholarship to buy my race car. Maybe not the best financial decision, but
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Possible. I would have went to call it. Oh, hold up. What? We're gonna get in that.
All right.
But and then 10 years later, still doing it. Running. I this started out in the front wheel drive compact division, and then moved up to the mod lights, and that's currently where I'm at.
All right, Corey, where's your question?
How do you take a college scholarship and buy it? I would have went to college. Like, truck driving school be dang. I didn't need truck driving school. Nobody knew how to do a pre-trip in my family, which is probably not the best thing to say for truck drivers. But like, my family got their CDLs in Wisconsin. That's not on the test, so they didn't know how to tell me what. They didn't know what to tell me what the state wants you to say during a pre-trip. That's basically it. That's all it is. It's like, here's what the state wants you to say during the pre-trip.
Are you saying anything that can get you in trouble right now?
No.
Okay.
I'm the best truck driver in the world.
We are on live broadcast.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
DOT down the road.
But how do you use? I didn't know that was a tangible. I thought like this.
I've seen people use scholarships to
I
get
don't know how
engagement
scholarships
rings.
work.
I've seen.
So
Well, they give you the money.
They give you a check
Yeah.
for that or something.
Well, I mean, I had to show
I don't know what you're talking about.
like a receipt. Hey, I spent this much, and they gave me my scholarship money.
You don't show what you spent it on. Like
No, I
like,
mean, I had to show that I spent it on like books and tuition and stuff like that. But then, I mean, I just took that scholarship money, put it in my bank account, and went and bought a race car, which my mom just found out about.
I mean,
last night. So
I don't want to like blow your mind, boys, but I didn't have scholarships like knocking down my
What?
door. Like, I know, it's crazy.
What? The University of Louisiana wasn't pounding down that door trying to get the Bayou Bandit?
There's nothing like. They're like, oh god, this guy's one. MIT was all like, we gotta do something with this.
I would have loved to see your scholarship letters. It's just one word, like no spaces. It's just 150 words
Should
all
have.
together.
Hey son, you made it. Come on
Dang
down.
on, dang on, dang on, dang on.
And like Price is Right, come on down. I would skip school to watch Price is Right. Maybe that's why I wasn't getting
There it
started.
is, the Plinko champion of the world.
And Bob Barker was amazing.
All right, Nick. So tell us more about your story. When it comes to, I mean, a decade into racing, you know, what has been the best part about this ride so far, and what has been the most challenging?
I mean, the best part about it, I mean, racing, I mean, it's like a second family.
Mhm.
You meet so many people. Of course, there's those family members you don't care for, per se. And then other ones that you just click with or turn into your best of friends. And people that don't race, I mean, they kind of look at you like you're crazy. But, I mean, racing's kind of one of those just getaways. When you're on the track, nothing else matters. You get to have worst of things going on in your life, but in that 15 minutes that we're out there for a feature, you don't think about it. Probably the most challenging thing, I mean, going from a front wheel drive to a rear wheel drive, that's two different worlds. In 2013, I actually ran both. I pulled double duty the whole season. Yeah, learning rear wheel drives after running front wheel drives for a period of time was definitely challenging.
I know he had the front wheel drive down because I don't know, last year he was ruling out there.
Yeah, last year I didn't have a mod light put together. And I had someone call me up and like, hey, just come pick this thing up and drive it. All right, free
Just
ride,
like that,
rock on.
yeah.
That's how you know you're good.
That's wild.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he was running the show and that. I was like, I didn't really know him at the time. I was like, it's the dude that wins. So I don't know. He's pretty good.
So he's had a checker flag or two?
Yeah, maybe. Oh,
maybe.
Well, we talked about it last week, Corey, and we said, what would it be like for you to win it? I mean, are there any pointers that Nick could give you and say, when you win it, this is what not to do?
he
Because
probably advised me not to like chase after Jim and hug him probably.
I mean, whatever emotions run high on that first win, so
Is Jim a hugger? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you get karate chopped in the throat, like,
it'd be entertaining for the fans.
Nick, what was your first win like?
It was definitely bittersweet. My first year, actually, as a rookie, I got a feature win, and it actually came the week before my grandpa passed away.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something to remember.
Very cool. And from that win, what did you take away from it? I mean, what did you Did it shock you that you were able to take the checker flag, or was it something that you knew you could do going in that race?
I mean, it wasn't something I thought I could do.
Yeah.
Because the guy that was winning each and every week was there. So.
Gotcha.
But luckily for me, he was only running on 3 cylinders that night. So I guess that was for my benefit.
So were there any, I mean, did you do donuts? Did you burnouts? What did you do when you won the race?
Just pull up to the flag stand, thank all the fans and the few sponsors that I had. I'm sure Corey would probably do about the same thing as I did. I didn't know what to do.
I call BS.
I imagine like
you're going crowd
just
surfing.
like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And it just kind of like, the next thing you know, you're pulling in the pits. Like, what happened in that 5 minutes? Like, what I do, you kind of, you're out of your body. Because they're going to be like, you're lucky if I'm not just like standing there like, hey, buddy, somehow I won this.
For some reason, I figured you'd be the crowd surfer. You'd be the guy that goes up and, let's go,
I think
baby!
I'm climbing the fence.
I do. Yeah, like Ricky Bobby style.
Yeah,
that'd be me. Like, Jim, I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm doing.
And nobody would be shocked. They'd all be like, nope, he has no clue. How did that happen? Talk about your relationship, guys. I mean, how did you meet each other, and how did the relationship kind of form and grow and form this bond?
Well, I like going around talking to people and learning stuff. So, like I said, I just knew he like won a lot of races. So it's like, hey, probably somebody good to talk to. You know,
hit yourself that wagon.
Might know a thing or two about a thing or two. You know, like that. So, and Will Wan always taught me, like, buddy Jared Thompson's grandpa. He always said, I used to not talk to anybody. I thought I was just some poor kid living in a trailer. Like, that's it. I got nothing to contribute. And Will Wan's a pretty powerful person around Columbiana County. And he's like, nah, nobody's better than you. You talk to everybody. Even if they're bad people, you can learn what not to do.
That's right.
He's like, just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
So now you can blame Will Wan for that.
Thanks, Will.
Trained on tracks, even though he's gone now. But like, he got that train rolling. So now I just talk to everybody, and everybody probably hates it. After a little bit, occasionally when they figure out what I said, they might be like, okay, that was funny.
It doesn't come like these come with subtitles, and you should see some of the subtitles that on yours. They're ridiculous.
I like unmute it so they don't come up. I'm like, I don't want to know what YouTube thinks I'm saying. Like, it could be like something about a different conversation. Like, oh man. Imagine if you watch this on subtitles. It's like,
oh, it's interesting.
They talking about muffins? What happened?
It's a cooking show?
Yeah, like,
in the driver's seat?
A muffin? I don't know.
Just a reminder that the fan line is open, 330-886-0813, 330-886-0813 if you want to talk to Nick, Corey, or if you have any questions for them, give them a buzz. We'll pop the headphones on and get to your questions. Nick, when you saw the Boomhauer Bandit rolling down the track, so to speak, what was your first impression of this guy?
Right, well, definitely not a Matchbox car is what you started with.
No.
But I mean, for someone that hasn't drove a dwarf car, which they're not the easiest to drive, but I think he's caught on pretty quick.
I think you summed it up perfectly when you just said, well.
That's probably the best description.
Do you, like, this is going to sound really weird, and it's going to be great for the subtitle. Do you remember what he was wearing when he, like, this sounds like a first date thing, but was he wearing something like this with the, what do you call it, the pearl
snap shirts?
Pearl snap shirts.
Pearl snap. Everybody in Texas hates you right now because you just like.
Well, that's good because we're from Ohio.
Texas, institution is
Texas. Okay.
Pearl snap.
You know what they say is what lies in Texas.
Look here.
And pearl snap shirts is not on that list.
I think if Ohio got in war with Texas, we'd be in trouble.
I don't think so, because we lie, cheat, and steal. That's how we do it. That's how Ohio got to be the #1 state in the country.
Tell me the bandit might defect.
Southbound and down.
Yeah. I've been in Texas. I love it.
I'm sure you do.
All steel.
It's just a big state. Just a big state. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, I can tell you probably what I was wearing.
Okay, what were you wearing?
I was wearing my racing pants and shoes and Wheeling Jesuit wrestling shirt because it's
more than likely.
And then I put the fire coat on
Fire
over
coat.
top of that. Like, but I don't walk around with that thing. So
You don't walk around in full character and
no, this
on your
is what
Saturday
I
nights?
just wear when I'm around the house or going out on weekends or after work.
So when you sign autographs, you don't wear that?
Yeah, I'll be wearing this.
That's what we need to do.
Unless, like, I try to minimize. All right, here. I have shown up at the racetrack and had to make a phone call to my brother and sister-in-law. Like, hey, when you guys come, could you grab my steering wheel? Because I did not race. Can you stop by my house and grab my steering wheel? I would like to race.
I want to be that guy to ask the neighbor, hey, can I use your steering wheel for the night?
How do you forget that?
Like I said, if you start getting too much stuff going on, you just whoop, and you take that out because you gotta wash your car.
Pearl snap shirt, check. Cowboy hat, check.
What?
Ah, shit, forgot the steering wheel again.
Anybody out there vice grips?
Nick, has there ever been a time that you forgot something that was imperative to a race?
I mean, luckily my parents normally leave after me. I have forgot the can of fuel or my impact, but for the most part, I normally remember everything I need.
I think you could get by without an impact wrench a little more than steering wheel, so he's lucky on that.
Yeah.
He's lucky on that.
We have a question. This comes from Rocky Brown, who you'll see a little bit later on the fantasy or for the franchise fantasy podcast that'll come up at noon. He says, is Corey willing to sell locks of that luscious mullet? I feel like we can make a killing on eBay or behind the Circle K.
I'm not doing anything behind the Circle K, Rocky, first of all.
Racing isn't cheap.
yeah. $20, $20. Yeah.
So is that a yes? You're willing to sell the mullet?
I mean, it grows back, but no.
It won't look as good coming out. The flow won't look as good coming out of that cowboy hat.
If I could get a haircut, it'd be like me and Nick would be the only two people without mullets in the track. I mean, now there's like 10 or 12.
Zach didn't have a mullet, did he?
No.
But I saw he was at a race last night.
Yeah.
Does he just travel around to find racing wherever it is?
Yeah. Well, Hoon races a lot. I know that.
Yeah, he'll get home from Texas one night and take off to Indiana to go race
Yeah, Hoon will put in some miles to drive a race car.
with next to no sleep.
Yeah, so I mean, he was traveling with them. I mean, Hoon's a nice guy. Hopefully he'll be in here eventually.
There you go.
But he's a nice dude. Like, I'm sure he's like, yeah, just come on, whatever.
Nick, when did people start to put the spotlight on you from a sponsorship standpoint and say, hey, we really like what you're doing. We want to get behind this?
I mean, as for sponsorship, I haven't had people come up to me and say, hey, I want to put my name on your car. I mean, mostly all the people on my car right now are old sponsors. And I mean, those sponsors were just local people that I stopped and asked, hey, would you want to have your name put on a race car? I mean, the couple that are on there are Leslie's Bait, Market Landing, Fruitlands Farm Market, Siciliano Chassis and Machine, Pit Stop Express Drive-Through, which is one of my good friends over in Atwater. But yeah, like I say, most of them are just on there. It's an old body, but still supporting the small businesses that supported me in the past.
I love it. Where are you from originally?
I mean, I'm from Ravenna,
Okay.
but I'm actually in Southeast School District.
Okay. And what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2010.
Okay. So still a little bit of a puppy, about 7 or 8 years younger than us. But you look at that.
In knowledge, he's 10 years.
Well, that's it. That's it. I
I
mean,
look at him as somebody older because he knows more. Like,
did you always know that you wanted to be in the race game somehow?
I mean, I always liked racing. I mean, I was big in the farming and agriculture as well, which that's currently the field that I work in is agriculture, equipment mechanic. But I mean, racing, just engines in general, were always fascinating to me.
So when you look at kind of your future in racing, what do you want to accomplish that you haven't yet? Is there a ceiling on you, or do you just kind of take kind of things as they come?
I just kind of roll with the flow anymore.
Okay.
I mean, this year I didn't plan on racing for points. Currently, I'm still sitting third somehow.
Attaboy.
But yeah, the last couple of weeks have been a little rough. But I mean, we're still rolling along. I'm actually still on super old tires, old shocks, old springs.
Sponsorships.
Haven't had much, haven't had much time to work on the car really, but
Busy working on mine.
yeah, working on yours or just work in general. But
What do you do for a living?
Work for a New Holland tractor dealership.
Okay,
So
very cool. And I think that's important to ask what people do, because some people sit there and be like, okay, well, he's just got an inheritance and he's just racing every weekend and putting all this time. Like, you have to do your 40 plus hours a week, and then this is like on top of it.
yeah, it's for racing.
I don't think there's anybody that good's running off inheritance money.
No, I don't think there's very many.
You're not gonna find those people out there.
No, we're out there for the fun of it.
I love it. All right, so from a standpoint of just trying to get to know you a little bit better as a racer, as a person, who was your role model in racing growing up?
I mean, in the NASCAR scheme of things, I mean, my favorite driver was always Rusty Wallace. Not so much for the sponsor that he had on the car, but he was just always one of those guys that I looked up to.
Oh, Miller Lake guy?
No, I'm not a Miller Lake guy.
Oh boy. The track of your dreams, where would you want to race?
Track of my dreams. I mean, I hear a lot of people talk about Boone over in Indiana, I believe it is. Or just local, probably be Eldora.
Okay.
But
Well, I've heard that one before already.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, Indiana, big dirt track racing state.
So like you would stick on the dirt track. You don't want to play, race on Daytona. You don't want to race Indy. You don't like
No.
that's it.
No, asphalt's for getting in the track, dirt's for racing.
Why are you smiling?
Oh, well, it's great. I love dirt track racing too. I just drove around Daytona because I was like, well, this is only exponentially bigger than the quarter-mile circle. You got a 2.5-mile track to a quarter-mile track. Like, well, this is gonna be weird. But yeah, I mean, if you ask me what top 5 tracks I'd want to drive on, I think like 4 of them would be dirt tracks, and one of them they covered with dirt this year because it'd be Bristol.
Yep,
It'd be like Eldora, Terre Haute, Knoxville, Bristol. Sure. I drove Sharon. That was pretty fun. It was kind of like being around here. That was like one of the big check marks, Because I've watched Tony Stewart and those guys. I used to go up there for the Tony Stewart nights and stuff they'd have. And so like that was like a check mark right there. So out of my top 5, I got one of them, and maybe like a Williams Grove. Or I'm not allowed to drive at Lernerville. My daughter has forbidden it because there's no wall in turn 1 and 2.
Oh boy.
She doesn't want me to drive over the hill and disappear in the woods. Like,
ask Boone about that. He did that last night over at Blanket Hill.
Yeah, he drove off the track, but yeah, she has forbidden me to ever drive at Lernerville, so I can't do that.
All right, Nick, fastest you've ever gone in a race car, fastest you've ever gone in a regular car?
Race car would be definitely the Mod Lights. I think we're probably hitting close to 80 going in the corner.
Okay.
On the street, I maxed out my old Silverado, so the rev limiter or speed limiter kicked in at like 98, and that was definitely a letdown.
You're trying for those triple digits.
Yeah.
I was thinking we'll do 160 if you want to go to my house afterwards.
I thought we learned our lesson the first time we talked about
we'll
this.
Go to Mexico. We'll go to Mexico. Dude, I know this. I watch these people on YouTube. They're like, we're in Mexico, and then they pass like a Missouri state route sign. It's like, oh yeah, it's in Mexico. Is it?
Oh, it starts with an M.
Yeah, they're like filmed in Mexico. That way, so we can just like film in Ohio. We're filmed in Mexico. Like,
Mexico City, Ohio.
Not Route 164.
My goodness. Definitely not Route 164. Definitely
164 in Mexico.
Car of your dreams. What would you want? How would you want to build it?
I mean, I'm definitely a truck guy. Not so much into cars. Can't say I have a favorite vehicle that I built, but
50s trucks and stuff. Like,
yeah, the old square body Scottsdales or the rounder bodied ones. Definitely
my
roll
brother,
along.
his dad had a pickup truck when we was in school. We used to drag race people this day. They got out of Texas and it had a Corvette engine in it. It had 3-speed. Had some messed up linkage, so we had to have a 2-man racing team here.
Oh boy.
So, because when you're going from second to third, I had to whack the linkage with a hammer so it'd go in straight. But man, we could eat up some of these fools that had these like V6 Camaros, and even V8 Camaros. They're like, yeah, we're like, we'll race it. Like who's gonna start this thing? We're gonna do it. I can't get out of this. Otherwise, we're stuck in second gear because I gotta hit this linkage with a hammer real quick. It's been hillbilly all the way. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That sounds like it.
we know that. We've learned that over the course of the last few weeks.
Hopefully his parents don't watch this. I don't think they figured it out by now. No,
Absolutely.
Hammer in the front seat.
His dad had an RX-7, and he's like, his dad would get up, why's my car got 10 miles on it?
Oh,
And we
my.
pushed it down the hill and started it. It is,
Nick, if you had to play any sport or compete in any sport other than racing, what would it be?
Oh, yeah, another hard one. Definitely not football. I learned my lesson from high school on that one.
What position were you in high school?
I played lineman,
Okay.
in defensive tackle. I mean, in high school we did play a lot of paintball, so that was definitely a fun time as well.
Okay.
So
I like that.
I'd take that one.
You buying into esports? Are you doing any esports racing or anything like that? You get on the sticks?
Not all that computer savvy,
Okay.
so I'll just stick to my scratch offs to waste my money on.
I like it. I like it. What's the most you've ever won on a scratch off?
Maybe $50.
That's not bad.
No, but I've spent more than that.
I was gonna
trying to
say
get it,
you got at least 50 free, right? Or something
so,
along
yeah,
those lines.
my brother plays Keno all the time. It's like, he's like, I'm up. Like, even if he wins like $400, like, yeah, but like, if we kept a tally, what are you really? You're
Yeah.
still behind time.
How far are you down?
Yeah, tonight we're at 400. Lifetime down 6,000. But
So we know that Corey, you were at 149 point. Was it
8.6.
8.6? All right,
Yeah.
so
don't round
149.9.
it up because they don't round it up.
I'm just saying.
There's a T-shirt there for 150. And
You've gone faster than that, right? You said 160 in the Mustang, right?
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah.
In Mexico.
Or 2012. That's statute.
Mexico. Yeah, your statute of limitations is good.
Yeah, it was a 2019 Mustang. Did 2012.
Do you have a DeLorean too?
Yeah, somewhere. 1952 Massey Harris pony tractor.
If you could go in the future or in the past to meet any racer and race any racetrack against each other, who would it be and why? And when would it be?
Have to be somebody pretty bad so I can have a chance of winning. I'm trying to think of who's like a notorious.
Like I figure like the Intimidator. I thought Dale Earnhardt would be like the guy that everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was always Rich and Petty guy, obviously, but.
But to say you raced against the Intimidator, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not racing
I'd be
against him. if he's
quite
like,
intimidated.
it's not racing against him if he's a half a lap ahead of me, one lap in. I was just there. I could just stay in the pits. And
I got the T-shirt.
yeah, just say the same thing. I don't know. Something like, I don't know, something old like the beginnings of NASCAR when they was racing on dirt. And there's like those guys that were like, there's a picture of a dude hanging out his front windshield, like adjusting his carburetor during a race, like while he's going down like a back stretch. Like
What?
those guys would be fun to race with because they gotta be a time. Like these guys are
Wow.
like, I don't care if I die. They're just like, yeah, like those guys would be. Imagine how they party, dude. Like if a guy is willing to go to that extent to be like, hey man, this thing ain't running right. Let me lean out this windshield and make an adjustment. I got a good quarter mile where this turn comes up. Like, should be. I'm only going 110 miles an hour. Let's roll out the windshield.
Those are your kind of people right there.
Oh, yeah, probably related to do something.
Nick, how about you?
I I mean, I'd definitely like to at some point get into a super late model, but that's definitely not in my budget. I mean, it'd be awesome to race against Jimmy Owens, Jonathan Davenport, and those guys. Not so much Scott Bloomquist, but
I kind of like that dude.
I'm not a Bloomer fan.
He's a bit wild on that thing. It's kind of funny. But
For you to say somebody's wild
yeah,
means that they're off the charts.
I've seen that dude drive a car, driving nothing out of the car. Like, I mean,
Final thoughts for Nick before we go?
I appreciate you being here, bud, and look forward to spending all these weekends we got coming up. Hopefully not putting you too much to work.
Yeah, I do that enough as this.
Yeah, man, when we got some idiot with red hair stopped by my garage and was like, hey, something broke here. You want to just take this and fix it real quick?
Next race on Saturday?
Yeah.
What's the start time?
6:30 p.m.
At Goods?
Goods Raceway, right off Route 224. 1/4 mile if you're headed west before the Deerfield Circle.
How much is it to get in?
$10 for an adult. Right?
Yeah, I think front grandstands is 10 for an adult, or if you're in the pits, it's 25.
Gotcha. Very good. Gentlemen, good luck. Thanks again for popping by, Nick.
Yep.
Pleasure meeting you. Corey, we'll see you again next Sunday.
No, I know it's a pleasure.